Good morning, eventually, and welcome in to my manic craft room this Monday morning. Later than normally we would be, but I had eventually arrived home about 7:30 last night after being away for 5 days on stage, which was fabulous. But it means that I am surrounded by all the lovely things that I've brought home with me. But there is also the remains of the last minute panic to get everything done, swaps, tutorial bundles, blog posts, whatever it is I needed to do before I went away, and just didn't have time to put everything away properly. So and a class that I sent packing. So anybody that went along to the Long Buckby class, thank you for looking after Charlotte. I hope everything was okay and you had a lovely evening. She says that you did, so I have no reason to not believe her. So morning div. So yes, it's all very manic in here, but I think I have managed to find all the bits and pieces to share with you this morning. I was going to show you a little bit of what I've brought back with me, as well as a product of the week, and a bit of crafting. So lots to get in. I've got half a cup of tea left. Tea is the one thing I desperately craved while we were away, because you cannot get a decent cup of tea. So yeah, that was the thing I definitely was looking forward to getting home to yesterday. So on stage, what is on stage? If you don't know what on stage is, Stamping Up do a big get together, a big gathering of all the demonstrators and people from the main head home office in Utah, and people from around the offices and things in Europe or wherever, and we all gather together to share inspiration, creativity, to look at new things that are coming, just to be together with each other. It just is a lovely occasion, and this time we were off to Dortmund in Germany, which actually wasn't too bad a journey. We managed to fly out on Wednesday lunchtime, direct into Dortmund Airport, and from Luton, and back again yesterday tea time from Dortmund back into Luton, where Mike, my husband, was our chauffeur, dropping us off there and picking us up last night and bringing us home. So a lovely trip, and lots of new things, new catalogues, new products, new ideas. So my head is bursting this morning, so I just need to clear the decks when we finish this and start thinking ahead, but not so far ahead that we forget the lovely things that are still in our annual catalogue and the lovely things that are in our autumn winter catalogue. But let's share some of the things that I have got on the table in front of me. Morning Caroline, morning Hannah. I've just had a picture pop up to see that Hannah has managed to gather up Oreo, her cat, who has been in the cattery while we've been away. So he's obviously now home. So welcome home Oreo as well, if you are watching. Okay, so what have I got in front of me? You will notice lots of bright colours. The team responsible for the graphics on stage, and all the banners and the backdrops and the rolling backdrops that went on the video screens and things, they were absolutely fantastic. They were really bright and bold colours, and I have managed to come home with a few little sort of bits and bobs that I'm going to be able to use, and you will no doubt find popping up as backdrops myself. Underneath here I've got a big circular map that says Centre Stage, which was from my meal on Wednesday night. Here I've got in front of me my badge, so we all get our badge. So here's mine with my name and what country I come from. The standard doesn't mean that I'm just standard. It means that that's the sort of lunch I'm having. I didn't want vegetarian or gluten-free. I just went for a standard lunch. Not that there was anything standard about the lunches. The boxes they came in were enormous, and they certainly didn't skimp on what they gave us in food. And attached to the bottom of my badge I have all my ribbons, and none of these ribbons would be here without both my lovely team and my lovely customers, because these represent where my business is at, and my business is only at the place it's at because of my lovely team and my lovely customers. So Silver Elite is my current title. Because I am Silver Elite, it meant I was able to go to Centre Stage, which is a special meal that they put on, and just a special celebration of the fact that you've reached that milestone or above in your business. And then I've got a ribbon here because I reached a sales milestone. I've got a ribbon here because I recruited some people to my team, and I've got a leadership ribbon because some members of my team themselves advanced. So yeah, lots of lovely ribbons, but ribbons that are only there because of all of you lovely people. So that was my badge with all my ribbons. Also on here I have some little pin badges. We were all given 3 of these little pin badges, and the idea was we could trade or swap them with other people. I did trade one of my badges with somebody else because they so desperately wanted to get hold of it. And this is my badge with the number 1 on it, which was the badge that represented which prize patrol stamp set I would win. So obviously when we pick the number, we don't know which stamp sets it's going to be, or even which number is going to come out in which order. But really pretty badges with that little birdhouse on the back there and all the flowers and things. So yeah, so that was my lanyard that I wore all the time that I was there. Paw Patrol, yes, no, Prize Patrol, Hannah, not Paw Patrol. We did have quite a conversation about watching Paw Patrol in German. Hannah had been watching it on the telly. When I went to Centre Stage, because I'm at Centre Stage, I got some extra free gifts. So I got this beautiful My Meadow stamp set, which is one of the new stamp sets out of the new spring mini catalogue. So the catalogue that's going to launch at the beginning of January. And I also got this lovely box containing a business card holder. And funnily enough, before I'd gone, I said that I needed to get some new business cards designed. So now I've got a gorgeous hot stamping up holder to keep them in when I get round to that job. Here's my lovely Centre Stage mat. The back here with lovely big poppies on, which was an early hint of what we were going to see in the catalogue. These were the things that were in our gorgeous bag. So we had this lovely backpack. We tend to have a bag every year on stage, and I did post up pictures of my gorgeous backpack. And inside we had the Timeless Tulip stamp set, which is really beautiful, and I'll show you a card we made with that in a minute. And lovely notebook, and I've taken lots of notes. Some pens. There is one of those that hasn't made its way back into the pack. There was a pack of 3 pens, so that was our freebies in our bag. I had some lovely things, so from my girls that came with me. So I had some nice notebooks. I've got a chocolate somewhere. Well, I actually haven't got the chocolate, I've only got the box. It's got a H on it as well, and some Start the Day with a Cup of Positivity socks, which were very apt. So those were the goodies that I've come home with. So that's always lovely. It's always a bit like Christmas. Let's see if I can find somewhere to pop those without them all collapsing. These were the make and takes that we made. Can you see the detail on those tulips? Absolutely stunning. And that stamp set has got a punch that coordinates, and it punches out both the tulip, the big tulip, and this leaf. And you can use the leaf as an extra petal or whatever on your tulips, but absolutely stunning. So that is one card. The poppies, there are beautiful poppies, a lovely poppy suite inside this catalogue. So there's Hi Chrissy, there's our card that we made with the poppies. I really loved, there's this white crinkle seam binding ribbon in the new catalogue, and this one has just been stamped with like a splodgy stamp. So it's white but been stamped with Pear Pizzazz, I think it was. I really loved that effect. That was really lovely. We had extra packs on our table, so this was a second card that I made sort of impromptu while I was eating my lunch, with another of the poppies from the stamp set on there. And then this is a set that goes, there's a Parisian suite with the Eiffel Tower and all sorts of beautiful things. And then there's a coordinating stamp set and die set that goes with it. That's these gorgeous flowers, like these blossoms. So that was the card that we we made as our make and take, and this was the impromptu one I created out of the spare pack. And then we had a little set of 3 cards to make up using this little bundle that was all lipsticks and shoes and perfumes. So that's that little stamp set. That's just some really simple stamping. I have added some Wink of Stella on those, but they may not show up in this light. So that was our make and takes that we made while we were there. So our lovely little samples to bring away with us. So lots that we've brought home, lots of goodies. There's my lovely centre stage mat. So of course the other thing that we got was a free pack of paper. I haven't opened this up yet. Let's open this up. Let's have a look at this pack of paper. Now I've got it home safely and I can transfer it to a nice pack. Let's have a look. As you can see, golf tees and golf balls. Oh, that's a nice check, isn't it? Oh, look at that one. Some really nice sort of golf themed, but some really nice general papers. There's your flags. Oh, that's a nice argyle, isn't it? Got little shields and things on there with golf balls and things on. Look at that. That's going to be a really useful paper, isn't it? That grey sort of check. Little golf caddies on that one with a green check on the back. Again, another really nice bright argyle pattern. And this is the one that I'm interested in, really useful. So this one has got lots of images on that you can just cut out and colour in and use as card toppers. So the one with the trees doesn't need to be golf related at all. So really nice papers. So that was our free pack of paper that we got as well from the suite that's going to have, as you can see, a bit of a golf theme going on. There's quite a few men's masculine type suites in the catalogue, and all I can show you of the catalogues is the front covers. That's all you're allowed to see at the moment, but the front covers themselves are really beautiful. The catalogue has a different orientation, it goes a different way, so it opens this way rather than being a long sort of portrait. It's landscape, but this is full of those beautiful poppies. Just is a stunning suite, and I think going to be really popular. And then we've got our celebration brochure. So lots of celebration is all about the free stuff. So as always, spend £45 on any of the current items and you can earn yourself something free from the celebration catalogue. Again, as there has been in the past couple of years, there are some items that are slightly bigger, more significant value that you can spend £90 and earn. You've also got your benefits if you host a party, including this year. If you host a party and hit a certain sales goal, you can get a free stamp set, which is absolutely gorgeous. And there will, of course, be the joining offer for anybody that joins during celebration, and that's quite a tempting offer this year as well. So lots of things to look forward to in those new catalogues. Lots of really bright colours, lots of really lovely sweets. There's cute in there, there's really feminine, there's sort of watercolour-y effects. There's just across the board, it really is beautiful. And if you're anything like the demonstrators that I met, the problems are not going to be what do you want, the problems are going to be what are you prepared to leave out of your wish list. So you are warned now. And obviously if you want to, if you live here locally in the UK and you would like to receive for Christmas a voucher to get ready to spend on your new catalogue in the new year, then do get in touch or get your family members to get in touch and we can sort that out for you. And also if you want to get hold of the catalogue early and you would like to be pre-ordering this stuff at the beginning of December, then make your wish list, join my team, and you can be doing that at the beginning of December. And if you haven't registered for me to send you one of these catalogues, then I shall add the link to that when I edit this video later. So do request a catalogue from me and make sure that you've got your hands on this beautiful, beautiful book of just gorgeousness. It is just stunning. Yeah, the front cover, you know, doesn't disappoint. What's in it is equally fabulous, and there's some really lovely tweaks they've made to the style of the catalogue as well, including indexes and all sorts of things which are fabulous, and I can't wait to share with you. But swaps is the other big thing when you go to on stage. So let's just have a little look. I've just tucked them in this basket just because they overflowed my bag. And I didn't want to lose any on the way. I'm hoping I've got everything there. So I took 50 swaps with me, and I'm sure somewhere in here we'll find the swap that I took with me, because I kept one back, because I often forget to do that, and then can't, you know, haven't got anything to show you what I took. So I've kept one back. But lots of beautiful things. So Dankeschön, a German demonstrator. That's got a lovely little magnet on it, using those embossed leaves in lovely colourway. You wouldn't think to use oh good, Chrissy, I'm glad you've got yours. You'll be able to flick through it and get your post-it notes out. Look at this, a little ball of chocolate, I would imagine that is, wouldn't you? With snowflakes and sprinkles. But I didn't open it, I didn't eat that chocolate. Look, I saved it to show you all. A little pack of pencils. Those are really cute in red, white and blue. Some Union flag pencils. This one may have had chocolate in that may have been eaten. What's a girl to do far from home of an evening? So yes, that one did have a little couple of little bars of chocolate in it, but a really cute little box idea. It was 2 little Kinder bars, if I remember well. But that's a nice little idea for a Christmas treat for somebody, with a little snowman on. It's beautiful. That's shrink plastic, that butterfly just there. Beautiful little gift tag. His ribbon's gone missing, but I'm sure we'll find it in a minute. This was an intriguing little box. Let's see if we can open it. Here we go. It opens out. So that bit tucks in there like that, and it opens out into this long strip like this. Tri-pyramid fold treat box. And Sarah Sayers, who swapped that with us, suggested we could find lots of these on Pinterest. And in actual fact, when we looked, we did indeed find lots of them. We hadn't even got to the conference centre when we were swapping these ones. These ones were swapped on the tube on the way in, because there were lots of Stampin' Up ladies on the tube, and what better way to pass your journey than swapping. So that one was swapped on the tube. This one is a gorgeous one. Look at this. It's like a leather holder, and it's got little USB ports on the tassel. It's cute, isn't it? So like a phone charging holder. This one was from an interesting lady. This lady is an American demonstrator, but she's actually based in Korea. So she lives in Korea, and she brought us some Korean snacks. So this is a cheese wafer. She assures us that they are lovely, but I shall let you know when I get round to eating it. So a Korean snack. Some little star earrings. They're really rather sweet, aren't they? Again, some more shrink plastic. And that was from a German demonstrator, Jordis Eifert. a gorgeous peacock from Catherine Simpson. This was a back on your feet card, and this was from a lady called Yvonne, and Yvonne became an honorary member of the Love-a-Ducklings team while we were there. We adopted her. She was there on her own. She'd come across because she was currently working on business in Amsterdam, so she'd come across to our on stage, and we adopted her. So it was really lovely to spend the time with Yvonne, and so that was Yvonne's card. Another peacock from Katja Martins with that beautiful foil in the background. We've got some of the birds there from Helen Chapman. It's really pretty, isn't it? This one, if you could, I don't know if you can see that, perhaps if I hold it down you'll see better. It actually spells out the words Dortmund in those mosaics, and that's from Nadine Stopp. A unicorn. Just leave a little sparkle wherever you go. It's Jane Owen. Got a little If Pigs Could Fly calendar there. And that again is German demonstrator Bianca Rodiger. It's Your Time to Shine. This one opens up. That's Elaine Sewell. Hi Valerie. There's some nice mosaic butterflies there. That's from Louise. Inlaid embossing. So they are embossed. They're all. So she's embossed the butterflies. Very pretty. Let It Snow. This was Yvonne as well, I think. Was it? No, this one Joyce. Joyce Drake. From Bingley. There's those little houses. That's a really cute card, isn't it? Geisha Prisa. Do you think that is? Yep, another German demonstrator. Constance Wurst. It's a lovely simple stamping but clean and simple style card. Really lovely. There's one using those stars. The blue and white colourway. If I open up this little bag, so this one is using those the baubles, the bauble punches. So this one comes with lots of love, and it's a little have a beautiful day. It's quite sweet, isn't it? Tie that ribbon up on the side there. Some more baubles. Really sort of soft. Just looks as if they've been daubed with some ink. We haven't got a name on that one. Little seahorse. Thank you for the welcome back, Valerie. This one's nice, where they've done this sort of ombre colour effect on the side here. That's Lisa. Oh, that one's my swap. So that's the little book, the little friendship book that I took with the embossing on the front, and just sort of picked up the embossing with the gold embossing powder, gold embossed down here, and made a little book. I will be showing you how to, I will do a video or something of how to create that book a little bit later in the week when I've landed and got myself sorted, worked out what I need to be doing this week. We have a really cute little snowman just here, and he opens up. He's got a little bell on there, look. It's very cute, isn't he? And he ties up at the top here. Nice silver tree that's punched out there. This little envelope opens up, and it had got a little phone charm in there. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? A couple more little phone charms. Little hanging Christmas tree. It's very pretty, isn't it? In those nice greens. This was really lovely. Thanks for swapping. My colourful inspiration is a trio of items that are typical for the Black Forest, which is not far from my home. The cuckoo clock, you may use it either as a bookmark or as a standalone decoration, holds 2 smaller bookmarks. The Bollenhut, the hat with wooden pom-poms that is part of the traditional Black Forest costume, and the tree with the deer, symbols of the wonderful nature of the Black Forest. So there's the tree and the deer. There's the little hat with the pom-pom and the little cuckoo clock bookmark. Isn't that really sweet? And what lovely, how lovely to have that story or that explanation to go with it. I thought that was really sweet. And this little guy pops up. He's lovely, isn't he? Little snowman. And that one is a French demonstrator. So obviously the majority of demonstrators there at Dortmund were European, not all by any means. We had a lady from New Zealand. We had quite a few American demonstrators with us. This is a little treat bag with some little Haribo in it. It's really rather sweet, and they've all been stitched. Look, so that's just the brown paper that's been stitched and stamped. So that's very sweet. Little mini sewing kit from Jeanette Vaughan. Starts with art. It's very sweet, isn't it? Pack of tissues. Look at this, how cute is that little scribble on there, and the trees and the little clock. Time spent with friends. Thought that was lovely. Another little bookmark again, ribbons around somewhere, but this was a 3D. Little bauble, little elfie notebook, this is quite cute. This was a little bit different. I didn't know quite what to expect when I opened this, but it's a little travel toothbrush, all wrapped up in this really cute little box with the moose on the top. So that was really sweet. Obviously by the look of it, somebody's had a job lot of something from somewhere, but how lovely to wrap them up and be able to give them away. Some bubbles. This one was an unusual gift, but we decided it'd be really lovely to be lighting. We'll be thinking of this lady when we light our Christmas candles. Very sweet. A little box of matches. This is just a little treat box, but a really pretty little pyramid type box. It's lovely. And this one's got a little soap in, I think, if I remember right. Really pretty. This one did have a mini Snickers in. I might have eaten that. But 'tis the season. This one is a big Milka chocolate. See, I've resisted eating that one. I love stamping. It's really sweet. Ooh, this one is just like a little house. So he sort of folds up and he's just a little snowman. So it's like a Christmas tree decoration, little snowman, double-sided snowman hanging in his little snow house. It's hard to get a picture of that one, but there he is. Little notepad, sticky note, post-it note pad. It's very cute, isn't it? This one, I think, might have been another soap, if I remember. Oh no, this one's a chocolate in there. Just for you. And perhaps this one was a soap. Yes, that was the little star soap. That's cute, isn't it? Just tuck that box back in there. Created by Dark Flora. This is a really pretty box. Isn't that lovely? That gold on that black is really striking, isn't it, with that little label. And it's got a brad through there to hold it closed. And then another little box. And this one, I liked this one. This was quite clever. So you've got your 3D bauble, but your 3D bauble acts as your fastener. And in there again is a little chocolate. But I thought that was really nifty, the way that little box closed. I liked that one. That would be a really lovely table favour. So there we are. There is my bundle of goodies. There's my basket. Let me just transfer these all to my basket. And I know that the ladies do love seeing these, so I will be taking them round to classes and things to show people, because it gives us all inspiration for ways of using the projects we've already got. Let me just pop those all in there for now. Ooh, dropped my toothbrush. I don't know whether I showed you this one. This one is absolutely beautiful. Look at this little angel. Isn't she stunning? Really gorgeous. So that's all my swaps. That's all my goodies that I have brought back from on stage with me. But as I said at the beginning, we mustn't lose sight of the fact that we've still got Christmas on its way. And we've still got our autumn winter catalogue and things to do with that. And we've still got our annual catalogue. We can't actually, as a customer, you can't start buying from the new catalogues till the beginning of January. So let's have a look at the things that you can be buying. And today I thought we would have a look at a really beautiful stamp set and die set that's in this catalogue, to give you some really traditional cards, but you can also use it to create wreaths and home decor items and all sorts of things. But it's this Peaceful Boughs set. So you get this gorgeous stamp set with these pine boughs and these pine cones, a little snowy stamp there, a couple of greetings, and then you get a lovely die set that comes with it that cuts out these boughs and pine cones and a couple of labels, and combined it can very quickly, very easily make some really stunning cards. And we've got some beautiful examples here, and that one's just stamped around the edge. They've had some adding in some embossing paste or some texture to it. Little pine cones, so you get the solid back of the pine cone plus the detailed top, so you can build up these beautiful pine cones. And that one's got some sort of faint pine bound stamped in the back. This one's beautiful, made up with all the dies sort of building up. Makes a really lovely card, but you can imagine that as a home decor piece as well. But the one that we're going to have a bit of a play with today is this little example down here in the gold and grey. So I just thought that was really a bit different, very elegant and really quite pretty. And when I was looking at the how-to, excuse me rustling around, when I was looking at the how-to on this, it got a technique with it that I thought sounded really quite interesting that I've not tried. We're going to have to try it and see what happens. But hopefully will work beautifully. Now then, I'm just looking to see. I'm sure I did plug in my heat gun because we're going to need that. I've just buried it under all my piles of things I've brought back from on stage. Right, so let's have a little look at what we've got here. We've got the stamp set and we've got the dies. Oh! That was my stamp set. I missed showing you a stamp set. That's my stamp set that I had as my prize patrol, which is the Forever Blossom one. Gorgeous blossoms, just waiting to be coloured with your blends or with watercolours or your pencils. And there's some lovely dies that go with that as well. So yeah, that got buried in this basket and I missed showing you it. So we have here the stamp set, this beautiful Peaceful Boughs. And it really is stunning, and the dies, as I say, that go with it, that you can really easily combine to build up, make some really lovely cards. There was a card that, now then, have I popped that in here somewhere? There was a card around somewhere that I had, that they had, yes, at the county tour this week. That kicked off in Long Buckby this week, so that's the first of the county tour classes, and they've got this really nice simple one layer almost card. It's got a backing on it, but just using a bit of masking of the centre and some of those stamps, bit of the gold ink, and just really quickly with some first and second generation stamping create a really lovely sense of being in a winter wood at Christmas time. So that was a really simple card that we made up using this stamp set, so that's really lovely. But as I say, today we're going to have a go at this one that's all in greys and golds and all sorts of things. So I've got a standard card base here. So here in the UK that's 14.9 centimetres by the 21 centimetres across, scored at 10.5. And then I've cut a mat to the top that's just slightly smaller. So this is half a centimetre smaller. So you'd probably want to go 1/8 of an inch smaller all round if you were doing a different card base. So that's our card base and our mat that we're going to be working on. So let me just tuck the card base to one side for now. And let me get out this large stamp just here. Find a block. And I think, will it fit on that one? I think it will, just about. So let's go with that one. Oh, and I know what I haven't picked up. So excuse me while I go rifling just a moment, because I need a gold ink pad, and that also is packed in the box that's just come back from Wednesday's class. So we've got the Delicata gold pigment ink, and we have our large pine bough stamp. And what we're going to do is we're going to ink up our stamp. Pick up the light that's just died and fallen head first. So let's ink up this stamp. And we'll have one coming in here. And another one across the top here. I have one coming here. And then I'm going to take one of the smaller pine boughs, ink that up with the gold ink, and I'm just going to extend this one slightly into the centre. Okay, now what I'm going to do, so what it suggests is taking some white embossing powder and just dusting the ends. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got a sponge dauber here that I'm daubing into my white embossing powder. Now, I've not tried this before, but it seemed like a really nice idea. So the idea is just that the ends of your pine boughs are just going to have a dusting of snow. I've just flicked off the excess on that, and then I'm going to heat it up. This is the point where we find out if I've plugged in my heat gun. Yes, I have. let's put the lid on that ink while we're waiting for our heat gun to heat up. And then let's heat that embossing powder. And actually it doesn't matter if we're going to be drying the rest of that pigment ink as well, which is not a bad thing. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I do like that. Just heat that, and wherever that powder is stuck on that pigment ink, it will turn frosty. That's really pretty, isn't it? I do like that. Right, now we're going to put some added snow on here as well. So let me just, excuse my hand while I dig about. Let's just take our embossing buddy and rub over the top of that, just in case any of that ink is still a little bit wet. And then we'll take the little snowy stamp, the little blobby snowy stamp from the set, and we'll take some Versamark and we'll just add in some snow around and about. Oops, sorry, that's very noisy, isn't it? Right, so let's add some embossing powder to the snow. Give that a bit of a flick. Got a little bit there that we've just overlapped the two stamps, I think. There we go. So let's just heat our snow. That's not something you hear every day, is it? That is a really pretty effect. I like that. So we've got our gold ink with the white ends, and we've got our snow. So that's really pretty. What I'm going to do now is take my snips, and I'm going to open them up like this, and I'm just going to rough up the edges of this card a little bit. Give it a bit of texture and to help it to stand out from the background card a little bit. It gives it a sort of fluffy, slightly raised edge all the way round. Okay, so that's a bit roughed up. Put our lid on our embossing powder so that we don't send that flying and scatter it everywhere. And then using my grey granite ink and the Season's Greetings stamp, I will clean those stamps up in a minute, but You don't necessarily need to watch me do that. I'm sure that you're all fairly au fait with the idea of cleaning your stamps. I'm going to stamp this season's greetings in grey granite on some Whisper White card. There we go. And last but not least, we're going to add some die cuts. Now I have already done some of the die cutting, so we're going to want to die cut that greeting with that label, and I also need to die cut one more of the little pine cones. So let's move some of these other things out of the way for a minute and bring in our die cutting machine. So we have Season's Greetings. I'm going to lay just there. I think that's about lined up. And then somewhere I had a little square of champagne foil. And onto that champagne foil I'm going to put the solid background die for the little pine cone, and the more detailed top die for the little pine cone. So let's put the top plate on those and run those through the machine, and I'm going to run them backwards and forwards a couple of times just because there's quite a lot of detail in that little pine cone, so better to run it through a couple of times now than to be battling with it in a moment. So let's just pop those out there for a minute, get rid of this machine out of our way. And to bring in my foam pad and my take a pick tool with the die brush attached on the end. So here's our background. Here's our little greeting. That obviously popped out quite easily, but I'm going to give this one a brush because there's lots of little bits in here. So let's give that a good brush to get some of those little pieces out. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that, Helen. Taking the whole lot off. That's it. Let's just get our pokey tool. Here he comes. Now, one of the demonstrators who was demonstrating on stage over the last few days referred to this tool as a magic wand, and I just thought that was just brilliant. Let me just get my magic wand out. And it is indeed a magic wand. You've got your sticky, your pokey tool, your palette tool, your sticky end, and your brush. So it is indeed a magic wand that you always want by your side. Oh. These little tiny bits sometimes just don't want to quite detach. They're cut beautifully, they just don't want to quite come off the back. So there we go. There's that little detailed pine cone, and there's the solid pine cone, and these are both cut from champagne foil. So that's really pretty. Let's pop those dies to one side so we don't lose them. And if I dig about in my basket, the other lovely thing about these foam mats is those little bits sit there until I take it over to the bin and give them a shake, and then they drop off, so they're not all over the floor. It helps to contain them a little bit. Right, so we've got one small pine cone. There's the back of another small pine cone. And there's the front of a small pine cone. I've got the back of a large one. There's the front of a large one. And then I've also, in gold, got a couple of the die cut boughs. So let us start to bring some of this together. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. Let's bring in our background that we've stamped and embossed. And let's see which of our glues. So I've just picked up a pile of glues, and obviously some work better than others, so we're about to find out which ones are working and which ones perhaps need laying to rest. Right, so I'm just going to put some little blobs on the back of that, because although it's fairly delicate, there is some quite big areas on this one. Got a little bit just there that looks as if it's not come out. Right, so this one I'm going to bring down from the corner just here, and if I need to I'll trim any edges off if we can't quite get that to fit on, but we may be able to wiggle it around a little bit. I'll just trim that bit off in a moment. So we'll have that one coming up the top here, we'll have this one coming up from the bottom. And then our pine cones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow onto my mat and just pick up some of the glue on the back of this detail pine cone and pop it up onto its backing. Same with this one. Oh, that wiggled. Lay that one on there. Take this small block and give that a good press. To make sure that those two layers have stuck to each other, and then finally this last little one, put some glue on the back of him. And press down in place. Oh, press down in place, it's stuck to the block. You're not supposed to stick to the block. Okay, so we've got our 3 little pine cones there that we're going to stick in place. So let's have one here. And then I think we'll bring in some couple of little mini dimensionals on the back of here. And we'll have that one coming across here. And then a couple more mini dimensionals on here. We'll raise this one up as well. And we'll have this one coming down there. Got a couple of the larger dimensionals here. I think I'll put some larger ones on this sentiment. Oh, that's got the other backing still on it, that's why it's not sticking. That's better. And we'll have that. coming across there somewhere. And then we'll take our roughed up piece of card, deliberately roughed up. And we'll stick that to that card base. That is really rather lovely. So we've got that backing with the snowy tips on those gold pine boughs, and then you've got your foil die cuts, some gold, some champagne sitting on the top there, and just that nice sort of muted neutral background. Hi Sally. I think that's really rather a lovely card. I like that one. So there we go. Hi Paula. I'm glad you like it. It's really lovely, isn't it? So there we go. So that's a technique I hadn't tried before. Just take your sponge dauber and just dab a little bit of white embossing powder on the end of those. It would need to be a pigment ink really, or you'd have to be really, really quick. You'd probably get away with it on standard ink if you were really, really quick, but obviously the pigment ink being that bit thicker, it takes longer to dry. It's a bit easier to do that with. But yeah, really lovely. Or the other thing that you could do is stamp in a colour on your stamp positioning tool, on your stamparatus, and then re-ink it with Versamark and stamp it directly over the top with Versamark, and then you could pick up the ends. If you wanted to do it in a coloured ink, that would work. But yeah, really lovely. So thank you for joining me this morning for this sort of recap of the loveliness from on stage, and as I try and get my head back into what I need to be doing now, as well as planning for what we're going to be doing in the future. So do keep your eyes peeled, because as I've been away, I've been planning forthcoming classes, so whether those are in-person classes that you come and join me here and do, or whether they are online classes that you get your kit and you come along and join me in a live Facebook class, then there's lots coming up, and there'll be paper shares, and I'm sure there'll be ribbon shares, and all of those things to look forward to as we start the countdown to this catalogue being released at the beginning to the customers at the beginning of January. But as I say, if it's something that you would like to get your hands on before the 1st of January, if you want to be ordering on actually I think it's the 3rd of January, if you want to be ordering on the 3rd of December, then talk to me about your starter kit, and because it is always, whatever time of the year, it is a huge bargain, and you can be spending £99 getting £130 worth of goodies, and if you're joining at the beginning of December, those goodies could be coming from the new mini catalogue. But I will be back on Wednesday when we'll be doing a back to basics video. I'll be back on Thursday when we will be creating some more things with this beautiful bundle, and hopefully I will have popped up a video as well as to how I made my swap card. So a busy week ahead, so I need to go and get on. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you all again soon.